It's still loading the file.
Oh, darn. Okay, it's recording. Go ahead, Monica.
Okay, so the first thing I do is you want to set up the view that you want to render, right? So you
You save a view.
yeah. Do we use the same one?
Yeah, just do the same one.
Okay. So
I mean, unless you want to do the we were going to do the other one.
which one?
Well,
The
the
corner?
the oblique one. You want to do that one, like from there?
Okay. I think I saved it. No.
Monica, can you show me how to set up a view? Because I've never done it on Rhino.
Yep, no problem. So
Thank you.
you actually go on your perspective view, right? Choose exactly how you want the render to look. Once you have that set up, you go to view. You go to set view.
Sorry, Ma. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Here, keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, so you go to view, set view, and you go to named views. Once you're there, this window will pop up. And these are all the views I already saved, but you would have to go to here, save as.
It
Once
looks
you
like
click that,
it looks like a floppy disk icon. Click on that, and then this
yeah.
pops up, and you name it.
Yeah, you name it. Let's say we want this one to be
Thesis.
all right, and we save it. Once you click save, you can cancel this out, get out of here, and then when you go back to view and set views, you should see then the one we just saved, which is thesis. You should see it there. Right?
Perfect. Thank you.
So Monica Spittery. So now what you can do is, well, you declined my request.
Oh, I thought. Okay. Okay.
So what's nice is, you know, as you're navigating around like this, you know, now you can come up here, click on your viewport drop-down menu, and you go back to set view and click it. It'll take you back there. It'll navigate back to that camera view. See that?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Monica, I just want to, you had a view like this. Let's do one. It was more like,
Oh, okay. I see which one.
yeah, you want to do one like that?
Okay.
If you already had one like that, use it. Otherwise, you know, you could use something like this.
Yeah, I actually have it saved. This one, right?
Yeah, do that one.
Okay. So you want to make a 2D?
You guys all know how to do that?
Yes.
Just walk them through it, Monica, as you go. So you just select everything and you go to dimension, make 2D.
Yes. Then you just keep it under current view and then select OK.
This may take a long time. This is a pretty complex model. It has like an interior stair and cladding on the front. You could speed this process up, guys, by just selecting what's visible. So you're not doing all these lines that are like way on the street and out of view.
I was going to ask, does it matter which setting we're on Rhino? Like, does it have to be, you know, where it says render, ghosted, all that stuff? Does it matter which setting?
The only
No.
reason it matters when you just toggle around. Like if it's wireframe, it doesn't have to render things as you move. And you know, shaded is a little slower. If you go to render view, it's rendering every frame as you navigate, so it'll really slow you down. I like
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to use X-ray or ghosted so that you can see through things.
The advantage of making a 2D when it's either shaded or ghosted is that you'll see pretty much the outcome, whereas wireframe you kind of have to try to, I don't know, like figure it out, I guess. All right, once it's done making the 2D, you go to top. Sorry, give me a second. Okay, so you go to your top view, and then here you have your Meet 2D. Right, see it?
Yes.
So this is where you want to make all the cleaning up before going into Photoshop and before saving it. So any line that doesn't really go there, this is the time where you go and delete it, like all of these. All of these, you don't want lines just being randomly in your rendering. Or if there's some lines missing, that's where you would add it up, add those lines up.
Yeah, it'll be hard to yeah, you won't be able to edit these later, guys. I mean, you would be able to crudely edit it, but it's worth doing it here.
Yeah. So let's say that we already cleaned it up, right? After cleaning it up, what I like to do is know what size of PDF I want in my Photoshop. Like, do I want it 11 by 17 or do I want it 24 by 36? So here, let's say I want it 24 by 36. I do a square, which is, you know, that size. It's taking forever. All right. Once you have that square, I like to place it over the Mate 2D. And locate it as if this is my final rendering. How much spacing do I want on every side and all of that. Like, let's say, you know, you're gonna include a lot of vegetation and you want a lot of space on either side to show that, then this is where you would make all of that arrangement, I guess. So this is a lot of white space around it. I don't want that much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scale the rectangle I have. And let's say I wanted something like this. And then I just want to place the make 2D exactly in the middle. There. This is exactly how your final product will come out, just with lines, right? So this is where you're gonna print as a PDF. So you do Control P.
Or just go file, print.
Yes, or file print. And this is where you're gonna select the size. Let's say we set a 24 by 36. That way, when you select the square you already have, it'll be exact to that size.
Wait, but why not? Why are we not doing 11 by 7? I thought you did 11 by 17.
I can do by 17, yeah.
I thought that's what you did.
I did 24 by 36.
Are you sure? I thought you said 11 by 17.
No, she said at the end 24 by 36.
Okay. Yeah, keep going. That's fine. So set it to whatever you originally did. So you're saying, Monica Chan, it doesn't matter. Like you scale down your 24 by 36 frame, and you're saying it doesn't matter because you're setting it here. But
Yeah.
the proportions are obviously the same.
Yes.
Okay.
So
put that to Adobe PDF. You're going to plot to PDF.
Yes. And you're just going to print?
No, go. I would go back.
Okay.
I think it's important that you guys click on one of these settings.
All right. So you do Control P. You make sure that it's under Adobe PDF.
And then what I wanted to point out, it's important that you print to a vector output, not a raster output. Okay.
And then you go down over here where it says View Window and Set. And this is where you're going to select that rectangle you did. Perfectly selected. You press Enter, and this is how it's going to look, the PDF. Once you have all your settings set, you can print it. And let's save it. Once you have it saved, you want to open Photoshop.
So you're going to create a new document. You're going to make it 24 by 36.
Yeah, so this is where you set it up the same dimensions as you have your PDF.
Don't you want the height to be 24 and the width to be 36?
Sorry, yeah. All right, and then you create the Photoshop file.
Cecilia, you got this?
Once you have it, you can drag in the PDF that you created. So just go back to where you saved it. And you can just drag it in. And there you go. This is your base, right?
And really what this rendering will consist of, guys, is 4 layers. So the lines, we're gonna render so you get like shadows and some light, and then just like 2 collage layers on top for like reflections of windows and things like that.
Yes, so now we wanna go back to Rhino and we wanna go to the view we had set up. Just to make sure we didn't shift anything, I'm gonna select the view again. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Once you have it, you're gonna go to render on top. Click on that. And then you're gonna click render. You press
Do you want to show them what settings you have set up there, Monica?
Yeah. Okay, so here under my sun layer, I have the sun on. I don't have the skylight on, and I have it north B320.
Does everybody see how she did that?
If you don't have the sun
Yes.
tab on your properties, you can always right click and then go to sun and make sure that you have the check mark next to it. And then it should appear. So once you set it up, you can actually go to your render view just to kind of get a glimpse of what the shadows will be like. And here it is. This is what it's gonna look like. And once you have that the way you want it, then we can go to render.
Their shadows look weird. Why do they look like that?
Because it's just like the preview of it. It's not the real render in a way. It's loading, I don't know why. So you go to render and then click render. And it should take a few minutes. All right, do you guys see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here you just save it. So you save the image and you save it wherever you can find it easy.
So one important step we didn't really get into, guys, is, you know, you want to make sure your shadow, like the shadows, you'll want to move the sun a little bit to get the shadows that you want. Okay. We can go back to that at the end, but yeah, keep going, Monica.
Okay.
Sorry,
So,
sorry, one question. I am trying to do the same thing in my computer, but mine shows like the materials colors, and yours is like on black and white. Is there like a setting that I don't have or that I have on?
yes, go to your layers. Under material, I'm guessing you have all of the layers in different colors, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's useful for Lumion. But when you're doing this type of rendering, you want it to all be the same color.
Okay.
So the way I have it is just white, because white, I mean, not white, yeah, which is the default pretty much. So you just use that color and you should see it here on the color bar.
And that's
Gotcha.
the only thing you're setting, just white. You're not
Yeah.
defining any of the other things.
Okay.
And you just want to make sure all of them are under the same color material, which
So when you render between Lumion and Rhino, you normally have different layers for those two programs, or you just change it manually for whatever you're working on?
Yeah, you probably want to do a save as, copy it, and then format one for Lumion, keep one for Rhino.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, thank you.
All right, once we have this, which is what we want to get the shadows, we're gonna go back to Photoshop.
Guys, this is the magic part, so pay attention. This is the best part.
And you're gonna drag in that render we just saved. So you're gonna notice it's not gonna be on the same scale as your line drawing. It's okay, you can always scale it up. So you scale it.
Yeah, hold shift when you do that.
Yeah, I was used to the other one. Okay. What I like to do is that I like to put my line drawing on top and make the rendering super light so I can see where it's actually gonna match.
So to do that, she's just changing the opacity to make it light, guys.
So here you wanna really make sure they overlap exactly. It'll take a few minutes to get it to how you want it. You want to double check.
So for your line weights, I've been going into Illustrator and changing my line weights, or just using the same line weights that it's exporting at, the default line weights?
Yes, you can actually change that in Rhino. So do you want me to show you that right now?
No, don't do that yet. Rich, what I would say, stay here, Monica. Finish this step. And then what I would do here, Rich, often what I'll do, did you confirm this, Monica?
Yes.
Click enter.
Yeah, I clicked enter. So it
I
should
would-
not,
I know how to adjust them in
Time out.
Rhino.
Wait, time out. Listen, what I do is, I don't know why it still shows this selected, Monica, on my screen, but what I would do is I select the layer with the lines, and you could just duplicate that layer a few times and it'll thicken up those lines. Can you do that real quick, Monica?
yes.
It's a workaround because
So here I am duplicating it and it became
you
dark.
can do it 3, 4, or 5 times.
Yeah.
Because ultimately,
Yeah.
see that, Rich?
Yeah, because they're overlapping each other.
Yeah.
They get darker.
Yeah.
I would just keep it as simple as possible. You know, render, they can be as complicated as you want. I avoid Illustrator like the plague because it's just another wormhole to go down. So this is a simplified rendering technique, and I think it gives really good results. So keep going, Monica. It's looking good.
So if I do multiply my layer, my lines, I like to merge them into one. So you just right click and then merge. That way you only have one to worry about. Okay, so once we're here, we want to get rid of the rendering of like the gray that we don't need, right? So you go to your render layer. You can turn all the way the opacity. But now you want to go to your line layer and select your magic wand and select outside of it. Outside of your lines.
You want
Then
to
you,
select the gray area.
yeah. Then you're gonna go to your render layer and delete. You want to make sure you rasterize the layer. And it'll be cleaner. Like that.
Everybody got that?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so once we're here, I am going to select the black that's on the render layer. So here, I'm gonna magic wand, select it. If it selects everything, you're gonna have to change the tolerance, maybe 25, and click again until you notice that it only selects the black, which is gonna be our shadows. And then you wanna select everything, hold shift.
Great.
And then it'll just get a little bit more complicated when you have elements like this where it gets a little more detailed. It'll just take more time. Okay, once you have everything that's black selected, you're gonna copy, Control C, and then Control V. So copy and paste. And a new layer should be made. And here we're gonna name it shadows.
Maybe rename the other layers, Monica. One could just be render, one could be lines.
Okay, so this is gonna be render.
So
There
you
we
have
go.
the rendering, the lines, and the shadows.
Yes, so the shadows, I typically lower the opacity to 20. And the render, I like to set it at 15 or maybe 10. So something like that. You can always
now,
change it.
Monica, now with the rendering ghosted, now make the shadows more opaque, just so they can see. Make it 50 or something.
Okay.
So you guys see that? So you can emphasize the shadows independently. That's the point of doing that process.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way you can change the opacity the way you want. Once we're here, I then go and add the windows. So I just grab image from online, and we can easily do that. Let's say we want this one. Just make sure when you're the resolution is high, so that's not so pixelated when you're bringing it in into Photoshop. So here we can actually just copy the image and paste it into Photoshop. There it is. Here's our sky. I like to make this layer as big as possible. And then just overlay it on top. That way I don't have to keep on moving it, and it's easier to manipulate later. So I'm renaming it sky. And what you want to do is go to your line layer and select all the windows, right? So if it's hard to see, just lower the opacity on the sky. Now you can see it. You can see your lines better. And magic wand all your windows.
This looks cool. Looks like a Magritte painting.
Again, when you have more details, it gets a little more picky to select everything. And then you just can zoom in and keep on doing that.
That's good.
All right, so let's just do the windows on front.
Oh, grab that. Yeah, you can do those real quick while you're there.
Yeah, okay. All right, once we have our windows selected, you just do the same process we did for the rendering and for the shadows, and then just go to your sky layer and then copy and paste. Here you should have your windows, and you can just turn off the main layer off. I like to lock it and then just turn it off. That way, in case I need it or anything else happens, I can just go back to it. And here, you just lower the opacity on the sky. Sky, I like to do it at 25. But if the picture itself is too bright, you can always lower it.
Great. And you can lighten your shadows however you want, Monica. I
Yeah.
just wanted to see how you do that. If you guys wanted to be creative, you could have your windows reflect your candela precedent or something.
Oh, that would be cool, yeah. And then from here, I go into the frames of the windows. And all I do is that I go to my line layer and start selecting all of the frames with the magic wand.
What do you mean, the window frames?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
all of the window frames. Ideally, you would also select the sides, but for now, I'm just doing the front.
This is great. I wish somebody showed me this 3 years ago.
You have to earn your stripes, Richard. This is only at the end.
Dues are never paid.
missing those, but
Great.
all right. Once you have the frame selected, you're gonna create a new layer, okay? And then you're gonna paint inside what you selected, but we're gonna use the color black. And here, it's gonna paint only what you selected.
It's great, isn't it?
Yes.
Then you just deselect. Let's rename this layer of frames. And just lower the opacity. Pretty much everything, I keep it between 20 to 25 opacity. And this is where you start adding your vegetation or anything else, shadows of vegetation and stuff like that. So let's bring in some trees.
So we're basically there, guys. Now it's just a matter of like, we're adding maybe some grass, some trees. I liked in our renderings to leave the sky white. Like sometimes I think adding, you know, a rendered sky makes it just seem too saturated. So we like to bring in these freestanding trees and make a kind of, you know, canopy in the background, but we don't really render the sky.
So again, when bringing in trees, you want to make sure that they have really good resolution, they look good, and then just bring it into your model, locate it where you want it, and I used to erase all of this part where it overlapped with the model, but now I found a better way. That way, if you just want to move the tree, you won't have it cropped, you know? So what you do is that you go to your render layer. You're gonna duplicate that layer. Okay, and this, we're gonna name it render white base, okay? So this is going to allow us to put the trees behind those layers and still move it and not lose any, just keep the whole tree to its integrity, I guess. So here we select the render white base layer, and we're gonna go to image, adjust, and then you're gonna go to hue and saturation. You wanna make sure that colorize is selected, and you want the lightness to go all the way to white. And then saturation and hue can just be 0. And then save it. Now we can grab the tree. Let's say we want it somewhere here. We can grab the tree and put it behind the white base. Yeah. We can put it behind the white base, and then the tree, we can move it and not lose anything. So like that.
That's really helpful.
Yeah. And you need that white base because you
Turn it off. Turn the white base off, for instance.
Yeah.
There you see the problem. Right. Okay. Turn it back on. Click enter.
Okay, and then from here you just start building it up. You can add more material if you wanted to make this wood, make it lighter, you know, and anything else you want.
That's great. You guys have any questions? This has been almost 2 hours of video, so I don't want it to go much longer, so I'm gonna stop it soon. But try these, guys.